Welcome to the Redefine Podcast. All right, welcome to the Redefine Podcast. That's right, episode 200. Well, not really 200. Well, okay, so let me backtrack. It's 200th episode, but it's the first episode of the Redefine Podcast. This is the rebrand. Here we are at episode 200, a massive achievement that we're here at 200. And we've changed over the name. If you're new to the show, welcome. You don't have anything to worry about. But if you're an existing listener, thanks for continuing to tune in. Hopefully you found it okay. We were formerly known as the Path of the Network Marketer podcast, and now we're redefined, right? We're broadening the conversation. And so in this episode, being the celebration of the show, celebration of not just the rebrand, but the fact that we're 200 episodes in, I just want to talk about Redefine, right? And why this has happened. Now, I love network marketing. I love the title and the name Path of the Network Marketer. So don't get me wrong. It's not that I didn't like it. I'm a network marketer true and true, right? 17 years into the profession as of this recording. And so my intention was, well, I love the whole path branding, right? The path theme. It started with my first podcast, Path of the Jedi, which was a start. It's still going. So it is a personal development meets Star Wars podcast. And so I continued that theme when I opened and launched this show with Path of the Network Marketer, because I mean, path is everything, right? Everything is the journey. And this was really intended initially to be me sharing my journey with you as a network marketing, as I expand my business, expand my marketing, expand myself, my mindset, all that stuff. And as it got going, especially around like 150, 160 episodes, I really had to come to grips with the fact that I was having conversations that were much broader than just network marketing. Again, I love network marketing, but so many of the conversations that was going on the show touched on things that, could really benefit other people outside of network marketing. And so I realized that, okay, it's time to expand, right? It's time to broaden the conversation and allow more people into the space. And the title, the name of the show was actually limiting that, right? Path of the Network Marketer. Well, who's going to want to listen to that except network marketers? Again, I love network marketers, and I continue to invite you into the show. However, again, I want other people to come in as well. Right. And now with the name Redefine, it really, again, it broadens the conversation and opens it up to a broader audience. So that's one of the reasons why I love this Redefine concept. Now, from a principle standpoint, from a conceptual standpoint, it's really permeated into everything that I've done, because it's a primary philosophy of mine, and I didn't really realize this. It didn't become concrete until around the time I wanted to make a transition with this show. It's really all about the definitions and the meanings that we carry, right? I've talked about how our brain, the beautiful human mind, has a need to create constructs, right? To create mental constructs and definitions and meanings of the world around us, of our experiences, of the people that we interact with, to make sense of everything, right? It just has to categorize things. However, one of the pitfalls is that we can get too married to those definitions and to those meanings. They can become, we can become too attached and anchored to those things, and therefore, we end up building more of a fixed mindset as opposed to a growth mindset. And so it's really, really important to have the willingness to continually redefine things as they're needed, because some meanings that you might be carrying right now today, some meanings that you might have picked up from a couple of years ago may not be pertinent or even useful for you today, right? This guy actually was born out of my own anxieties, right? The story is that this is kind of the evolution of Redefine and where it came from conceptually in my mind. Back in 2021. I had gone out to Austin to meet up with a couple of mentors of mine, people that I think very highly of, and I wanted to meet up and just kind of get their perspective and see, what they thought of where the next phase of, my career should go and my life should go. And it ended up being that I had to, they were very busy, and so the only time I could meet up with them was during a group dinner that was open to a lot of people that were invited. So I was part of that dinner. Already that was a very kind of high anxiety moment, or thought, the thought of going into a dinner with a bunch of strangers, basically. I have a higher baseline of anxiety, I think, than most people. It's something I've lived with all my life, and especially social anxiety in new situations. It's not the easiest thing, right? It's not the easiest thing. But I realized if I'm going to get the most out of tonight, or at the very least, if I'm going to enjoy myself, I have to really let go of that, right? Because the anxieties always stem from wanting, or just being in my head too much, and thinking about all the different definitions and meanings, and of who I am in the space, and I don't know who I am in relation to these people, and who are these people in relation to me. And so I realized I had to let go of all of that and just come in as a blank slate. So that's where it started. Hashtag blank slate. That was my hashtag, and a core concept that I was teaching, for a year and a half. Well, ever since then, right? So yeah, a year and a half now at this point. So hashtag blank slate. Be willing to let go of the things you think you are, and the things you think about the world, so that you can be free to experience and rewrite it to limitless possibilities. You open yourself up to limitless possibilities if you have a blank slate, basically. And so that's where it started. And then as I thought about it, then okay, so we can't just be a blank slate all the time, right? You have to actually have working definitions and working meanings in your life, because again, that's the only way we can operate. So it's not so much always being a blank slate, it's the willingness to be a blank slate as often as possible, so that you can redefine, right? It's the blank slate allows you to kind of let go of meanings and definitions that might be anchoring you, right, to antiquated thought patterns and belief systems, so that you can redefine things to better support where you want to go. And that's what all redefine is all about, right? When it comes to redefining, personal development, or redefining marketing, right? Redefining marketing. Online marketing is all about redefining marketing, and making it up as you go. Network marketing. That's one of the big campaigns that I'm pushing for right now, and one of my big rallying cries. We have to redefine network marketing if we want to survive in the digital age. And then of course, redefining self, right? The willingness to redefine who you are, and not getting too attached to these labels, these definitions of who you think you are, right? Because if you get so attached and anchored and solidified and fixed on the definitions of who you think you are, you're limiting your ability to grow beyond that, right? Because definitions are limits at the end of the day, right? They're packages, they're constraints that kind of box a certain idea or concept into something that's manageable. But when that thing, it no longer fits in that box, you have to be willing to be a blank slate so that you can redefine. Right, redefine. And so that's a lot of what this conversation is going to be about moving forward. I mean, it's the Redefine podcast. I'm going to help you redefine what marketing means to you. I'm going to help you redefine what content creation means to you. I'm going to help you redefine what an influencer means to you, what personal development means, who you mean to yourself. I'm going to help you redefine what network marketing means to you, right? Across the board, top to bottom. What relationships mean to you, right? I'm going to help you redefine that, not to give you a definition necessarily, but to help you detach yourself, again, from anchors, so that you can be a blank slate and redefine it in terms and definitions that help support you on your journeys moving forward towards the outcomes that you want to achieve. That, at the essence, is what Redefine is. And so welcome to the Redefine podcast. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. I wanted a dramatic pause there. More from me tomorrow, same as always. So until then, be well, be safe. We'll see you in the next episode.